Hello and welcome to my series of tips for writers. This tip is tip number 3 and it's a tip about how to deal with the fear of the empty page, which I encounter often as a writer myself, but I also see it in other contexts. I see it often when it comes to writing emails or even writing a card or a love letter. Or being able to, write for a project or an application or a grant, because the idea of putting our thoughts onto paper and getting it just right, the way we feel it, the way we think about it, is often difficult, and there is something that happens, which is that we want it to be perfect. Of course we do. So this tip is about how to beat that and get some words onto a page for you. And here it is. What I'm going to ask you to do is that you give yourself permission to write crappy things. That you literally get your writing out of yourself and onto a piece of paper or that Word file, and that what you do with it is, what works for me is that I actually print it out. I know that, it does take paper, it is printed, but my brain just doesn't work in the same way when it is on the screen. So what I do is I get it out of me and get it onto a piece of paper, and then I print it out, and then I take a pen to it and begin to see what is actually there. So I can start to really notice, this is good, this doesn't work. I can see alternatives in the way I could get into it. And that allows me to write a version 2. But what that means is that my page is no longer empty. If you have any tips that you'd like to share in this community, then please leave the tip below.